Hello people and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Deep Roy Chaudhary and I'm just a normal guy who talks about stuff that seems interesting and important to me, and today I'm going to talk about the upgrade cycle of our smartphones, or basically any device for that matter. I mean, at the end of the day, do you need to upgrade your car after every 2 or 3 years, or you know what, maybe that's not how it works. I'm not an expert on cars. I've never owned a car myself, so how would I know what is the upgrade cycle for a car? How would I know what is the upgrade cycle for any big device? I guess you know. But yeah, let's talk about smartphones because that I do know. I mean, I do know about smartphones to a little extent. I am not an expert, certainly not an expert in anything, I think. So the point of the matter is, a lot of people are not upgrading their smartphones as often as they used to. But what is the reason behind it? Is it technology fatigue? You know, is the whole glamour about owning a smartphone, the glamorous element? You know, smartphones are old news. Back in 2007, 2008, when was the iPhone released? I don't remember it. Back when touch screen smartphones became a new thing, people were wild over it. People were going wild over it, and of course, people had every reason to. There was no device that you could just touch, and when Steve Jobs was in his keynote speech, I think he was showing off the first iteration of the iPhone, and basically showed off. He basically touched the iPhone screen, and he was scrolling through the contents of the iPhone by just a touch of the finger. Now, of course, we take this for granted, but back then, that kind of thing was not there. And legitimately, people were going crazy over that. Uh, so at that time, people were, people had every right to be obsessed about smartphones. People were very very eager about replacing their smartphone every year, and it was an amazing thing at that time. But now, of course, now people smartphones have become so much better than what they used to be. That a 2017 model is not that different from a 2018 model. A 2019 model of a smartphone is not that different from the 2020 model. Frankly, just ask yourself, what is that big difference between the Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra and the S10 Plus? The S10 Plus is actually a pretty good phone, by the way. At least that's what I've got from the reviews. By the way, I've not used an S10 myself, but that's what I gather from the reviews. So if the S10 is actually a pretty good phone, and people are satisfied with it, why would they upgrade to the S20 Plus? And by the way, I will also not use the S20 Plus phone because frankly, those are expensive phones, and not everyone is going to go for the flagship phone. So there's that. And for that price point, some people would say that why not buy a laptop and all those things. But I was yeah, if you ask me if I had the money, I would definitely go for the flagship model because flagship smartphone, because I am generally myself, I am more obsessed about smartphones than I am about laptops. Nothing to not trying to diss laptops, it's just my own personal preference. But this same logic applies for laptops as well. A lot of people say that you should replace your laptop every 2 or 3 years, or maybe every 4 years. Why? Unless there is a huge upgrade, I mean, within 2 or 3 years, I would say why not use that same laptop for 6 or 7 years? Then consider investing a huge amount of money into buying a new laptop, or a new PC, or a new desktop, or whatever it is that you prefer. So you understand the point that I'm trying to make. The same thing applies for cars, but of course we live in a highly consumerist society. Brands, various companies are actually trying to make us buy even more and more. People, Nike, of course, wants you to buy new shoes every year. I mean, my shoes from 2 years ago are actually pretty good. I have not used, since I'm an introvert, I actually don't use my shoes that much. As much as I would like to, but still, I would say my even those people who are extroverted people who go out for parties and all that kind of stuff, even they would say that what their shoes are more than good enough for 2 or 3 years. But if you ask Nike or Reebok or Adidas, they would like you to buy a new pair of shoes every year, maybe every 6 months. It's good for their business, it's good for their sales. Of course, they would want you to buy new shoes every year, every month, every day. That's how companies operate. That's how capitalism operates. But ask yourself: do you really need an upgrade? Do you really need to buy the hottest new thing, whatever it is? Smartphones, laptops, cars. By the way, do you even need a car? I mean, I've already made videos about this as to why as to the fact that car ownership might be going down in the future. So you get the point. You get the gist of the point that I'm trying to say. I think that you don't always have to go for the newest, the hottest new thing, the shiniest new gadget, because unless there's a huge thing, ridiculous amount of innovation that you are seeing in some new product, and you are interested in it, you have the budget, you are financially well off, and you can afford that kind of a thing. Why not go for that? But if you are constrained on the budget side, if you and if you are in my opinion a sensible person, then you would not need to upgrade every year, every month, anything, any device for that matter, or every 2 years, or even every 3 years, because for example, there are many people who are still using the same iPhone from 6 years ago. Imagine that. The same iPhone from 6 years ago, people are still using it, and I am surprised as to why they are doing that. But still, there are people that do that, I guess. But I might talk about this more in the next video. Until then, please consider liking this video, please consider sharing this video with your friends and acquaintances, and please consider subscribing to my channel. That would help me a lot. Until the next video, stay safe, goodbye, and God bless you.